enigmatic Merimde culture, predecessors of ancient Egypt, or inhabitants who died out before its arrival? Although we are accustomed to reading about Egyptian kings and great pharaohs, and about gigantic monuments like the pyramids and mastabas, Egyptian civilization did not emerge from nothing but developed from prehistoric cultures around the Nile Delta. The oldest, and perhaps one of the most mysterious, considered a possible origin of the later Egyptian civilization, is the Merimde culture, which flourished from approximately the end of the 6th millennium BC to the beginning of the 4th millennium BC. Its name comes from the archaeological site of Merimde, located near the town of Beni Salame, about 45 kilometers northwest of present-day Cairo, discovered by archaeologist Hermann Juncker in 1928. Juncker excavated the site until 1939. However, the results were never published, as all the documentation was lost during World War II. It wasn't until the excavations by the German Archaeological Institute between 1977 and 1982 that the first systematic studies were obtained. According to Joanne M. Rowland, the Neolithic settlement of Merimde is unique, as it provides the oldest evidence of a Neolithic settlement built in North Africa. It consisted of small huts, initially made of wattle and daub, and later of mud brick, with round or elliptical floor plans. Its inhabitants were engaged in agriculture and animal husbandry, with no apparent social differentiation among them. They stored grain in large 2.4-meter diameter jars buried in the ground and distributed throughout the village, and supplemented their diet with hunting and fishing. From the beginning, cattle were predominant, and their numbers increased over time. Fishing became a crucial activity, with evidence of hunting hippos, crocodiles, and turtles, and consuming river mollusks. This focus on aquatic resources highlights the Merimde's adaptation to their environment and their skill in exploiting the Nile's resources. They crafted surprisingly sophisticated ceramic bowls and dishes, created without additives to harden the clay, an advanced technique for their time. Among the small artifacts they created were human idols, bull figurines, jewelry made from freshwater shells, and ostrich egg pearls. These objects indicate a trade network extending as far as the Red Sea, since many of the shell species found are not native to the region. The textile industry is evidenced by spindle whorls, very crude pallets that may have been used for preparing cosmetics. Body ornaments consisted of ivory anklets, bone rings, boar tusks, and cylindrical or disc-shaped bone and shell beads. Miniature axes, or adzes, perforated and used as pendants with a cord threaded through the holes, were used as amulets. Although no linen or textile remains have been found, it is certain that they knew how to weave, since a terracotta spindle has been discovered. Terracotta figurines are characteristic of Merimde art, such as the well-known idol head dating to the 4th millennium BC, which is the earliest human representation found in Egypt, carved with just 5 schematic hollows representing the eyes, nose, and mouth on an oval block. It was probably used in religious rituals on some kind of support. In general, artistic expressions are scarce and always made of terracotta, limited to a model boat, an animal figurine, and numerous anthropomorphic figures that are difficult to interpret due to their grotesque appearance. Undoubtedly, the most representative artistic object of the Merimdean culture is a 12-centimeter oval head with 2 eye holes, a flat nose, and a small open mouth. representing the first schematic depiction of a face. The numerous holes scattered across the skull suggest the presence of hair, and the chin indicates the presence of a beard. One of the most intriguing findings of the Merimdean culture is the absence of cemeteries. Instead, the dead were buried in front of their former houses in oval pits in a fetal position facing the entrance without any grave goods or offerings. Children, probably not yet considered full members of the community, were simply thrown into the settlement's refuse pits. Most of the skeletons buried in this manner and found during excavations were dolichocephalic, meaning their skulls were longer than normal in relation to their width, a common feature in pre-dynastic Egyptian cultures. The Merimde's culture shows an interesting transition in cultural influences. Initially linked to Southwest Asia, its connections shifted toward Africa until it consolidated as an indigenous Neolithic culture of Lower Egypt, influencing later Neolithic cultures such as Fayum and Ma'adi. Some researchers believe that the heads, which measure about 12 centimeters, were adorned with hair and beards, made of feathers inserted into small holes around the face. Other heads or faces resemble masks more closely, but all appear to have had a ritual use, and according to Carlos Blanco, are difficult to interpret due to their grotesque appearance. In conclusion, we would be dealing with a completely sedentary culture, which actively practiced livestock farming and agriculture, whose chronological situation can be established between the end of the 6th millennium BC and practically all of the 5th, a stage in which the dead, given the scarcity of funerary offerings, seemed to lack great importance.